Good evening, which I think it's evening everywhere. And
sure.
Yes, welcome to Divine Disbelief, episode 43, right?
Yes.
Just said it a second
43,
ago.
43, yes.
I'm Nathaniel.
Yes.
That
Hi,
is
Nathaniel.
That is Susan.
I just realized I need to this is not gonna come through.
No,
I
don't know what.
Fine.
I don't know what you're doing with that. Anyways.
Well, I was just making sure that it was that we could hear, because I can't hear anything through that at the moment. But I think it's because we're a little far away.
It might be.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It was working earlier.
Good.
Yeah.
But I am, again, Nathaniel. This is Susan, episode 43. I'm also beardless.
So handsome. So handsome.
It came off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For all of you I know that want to know, it came off yesterday. If you're watching this in the future, it came off yesterday. I went back to work today. So welcome back to work, Nathaniel. That's me. But we are back with a live show.
Yes.
Which, if you're watching this in the future, this is a live show.
It is.
So congratulations. Make sure to leave a comment in the live chat in the future.
Tell us how much you missed us.
Back to the future. But also, yes, make sure that you do leave a comment. We have a lot of news to get to.
We do.
That was a messed up sentence I just tried to say. The inflection in it was not great.
I thought it was great.
So we are very, very excited. I'm going to go ahead and split the screen here because that seems like it's important to me.
That's a good idea.
But yes, Susan, I'm so excited for this first story because it comes to us from NBC News, which is how you know it's not Fox News.
Exactly.
That comes later.
That's what matters. That is entirely what matters.
But according to NBC News, the literal... Now, this is I believe... no, I said no. I'm not allowing any ads. Go away,
no,
NBC News. This didn't happen earlier. You know what I mean?
You without ads option. They just refresh.
No, it wouldn't let me.
Yes, it will.
See, this is what happens right here. There. It wasn't on here a second ago. This is okay, so it's not the opinion piece, but the title of this article is this: Racism. What a great way to start an article in current culture.
Yeah, in 2020, this is how we're starting the articles. Racism
among white Christians is higher than among the non-religious. That's no coincidence.
It is zero coincidence.
That's actually the title of this article. And then the subtitle is, for most of American history, the light-skinned Jesus conjured up by white congregations demanded the preservation of inequality as part of the divine order. That is the actual title of the article, which is written by Robert P. Jones, who is the CEO and founder of PRRI, which I'm just guessing is like an institution for cats.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, I love your puns.
And thank you. And he says that in an article he wrote, he says, for more than 2 decades, I've studied the attitudes of religiously affiliated Americans across the country. And year over year, in question after question, in public opinion polls, a clear pattern emerged. White Christians are consistently more likely than whites who are religiously unaffiliated to deny the existence of structural racism.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would be prone to agree with that, especially considering there's actual data to back this up.
Yes, I appreciate the data.
Yes.
And not just the Star Trek version, who apparently died in Independence Day. I actually don't know if he died or not. I'm thinking he did.
He did.
Okay. Sorry, Data. White Christians, including evangelical Protestants, mainline Protestants, and Catholics, Catholics, it's not just the little boy touching, are nearly twice as likely as religiously unaffiliated whites to say the killings of black men by police are isolated incidents rather than a pattern of how police treat African Americans.
Thanks.
This is also, especially now, due to the fact that most Christians are conservatives.
Right.
At least most evangelical Christians are conservatives, and
That's
they
right.
hard line conservatives too. It's this, they're not actually conservative. You're not.
No.
You don't know what the fucking word means.
No.
They're these hardline far-right conservatives.
Yeah.
And so they feel that they have to do like the blue line thing, all lives matter, all this other racist bullshit.
Right.
And they feel they have to. And in doing so, they have to say, no, this doesn't exist. This is not what this is. They just need to bootstrap themselves.
Oh, I hate that term so much.
Which is what they've like over and over and over again. They just think, well, I did it. First off, no, you didn't. No,
you did not.
You didn't.
You didn't.
Barack Obama was very roundly, accosted verbally in 2012, 13. I don't remember. It seems like a long time ago.
It's been
when he was talking about the roads and all that stuff, and he said, "You didn't build that."
Right.
Which is, by the way, true. It's a whole system, right? And but it's these ideas that they said, well, yes, I did. All these things I built with my own bare hands.
No, you didn't.
And you didn't.
You
right?
did not. You benefited from a system that has, been built on white supremacy.
Yeah. And Matthew Fett says,
hey,
hi, guys.
Matt.
You do God's work. Hey, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate that.
This was an unplanned stream. It's basically until earlier today, which is, I don't know, we should check our stream for like an enlarged prostate or something. But what we see among these conservatives is, of the evangelical type anyways,
right,
is that this is white Christians are 20% percentage points, which I think is percent, more likely to disagree with this statement. This is a statement that if you watch this show, you probably agree with. Okay? Or, if you're not white. Anyways, this is the statement right here. Generations of slavery and discrimination have created conditions that make it difficult for blacks to work their way out of the lower class. 20 percentage points higher that they say, no, that's not true.
Wow.
Yeah, and part of that is because it's not taught in their education system.
No,
and they have this idea of American exceptionalism, but also because of the current conservative type of ideology.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's very much a wrong statement to say. It's like, this is correct, you're wrong, this exists. And of course, we've gone over this in great detail recently.
Numerous times, yeah.
And this person actually created a racism index.
I love that. When I was reading the article earlier, I was just all like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, this is wonderful.
There's a thing on here, and it says, do you think that racism in America is getting worse? And you can actually check it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 48% of Americans say yes. 38% say, no, we're just documenting more incidents.
That one to me is sort of a little hard to answer.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah.
Yes, the correct answer is both. It says, you have a strong view. Yeah, I do. The way to actually say it is both, and that's only 14% of Americans say both.
Oh, wow.
Right. So big, but it is both.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why it's sort of hard to answer, because it's this dichotomy that's presented as it is definitely an either or, when it's like this is not an either or situation.
Yeah.
This is a both.
Yeah.
This is a clusterfuck, y'all.
Oh, it really is. And the racism index, it's 15 questions, and it has like a 1.0, I think is like the highest you can go.
Yeah.
And the way that he has scored it, even white evangelical Protestants have the highest median score of 0.78.
Right.
And then it is white Catholics 0.72, white mainline Protestants 0.69. And notably, the median score for each white Christian group is significantly above the general population, which is 0.7. White religiously unaffiliated, which is 0.42, and black Protestants 0.24. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to give some points here, both ways, right? I don't know many black people that are like, no, systemic racism doesn't exist. I don't know that the Black racist index is very high.
Yeah, I wouldn't guess so.
So I'm gonna like give some points both ways here.
Yeah, the margin of error.
I think that I could do that. Like give it a 5. You know, like a 0.05 or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, but it's probably 0.1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that would actually bring down the 0.78 about never mind, to 0.7. Never mind.
Yeah, it's not that it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's not, and it's still pretty awful. And
he also wrote a book which comes out very soon. It's called White Too Long: The Legacy of White Supremacy in American Christianity, which is something that we also been reading a couple of different books about, that there is a reckoning that has been coming for racism that exists inside of the church, which, yeah,
it's a thing.
Hi, the KKKs or the KKKs. All the Ks are Christian. Okay. Well, I don't know that that's the case, but they're a Christian organization.
They are. Just flat out, they're a Christian organization.
They be racist Christians.
Yeah. And as much as people want to say that it was Christians who were responsible for the abolition of slavery, it was Christians who actually, enslaved people in the first place. Yeah. At least in the American.
And on our part of that. Well, with that being said, Christopher Columbus was Catholic, I think. And he was the person that had the first slaves in North America.
Yep.
He began the transatlantic slave trade.
He did.
He, by himself. Him
and him alone.
Yeah. I mean, his name is the only one's attached to it.
Yeah.
It was him and his people. And it's what's really kind of funny, and we'll go on from this one here in a second. It says, while most white Christians think of themselves as people who hold warm feelings toward African Americans, holding racist views is nonetheless positively and independently associated with white Christian identity. Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
You see it a lot. You see that white Christians say, gotta love everybody, and we love every single person that's here. But at the same time, I'm not going to help you, and you do this to yourself.
Right. And benevolent racism is still racism, just like benevolent sexism is still sexism. Sitting there saying, oh, well, there's nothing that they can do about their situation because they're just poor Black people. That's like, no, that's still racism.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's
you're still racist.
Still racist.
Yep. So we're going to move on from racism for right now, because that comes up later.
For now.
Yeah, as it turns out, America's pretty racist.
It's a thing.
FYI. And this is a religious show, kind of. We talk about
not in a post-racial society.
No.
We're not.
We're not Europe, and most of it. And we talk about religion on here. So this is religiously affiliated in that way. So you done goofed. America, religion, Christianity. Anyways.
Yeah.
How about people? Remember when Jesus was talking and he was like, yo, give to Caesar what the fuck is his?
Yeah.
Yeah. This pastor, the hell's his name? I forget. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's in Nevada. Okay.
It's not surprising.
Created a pledge, kind of like the Pledge of Allegiance, which you would think would be against one of those pesky commandments, but I pledge allegiance to the flag. Oh, cool. Where's your, never mind. This one says, take the pledge. I will serve Christ first, not Caesar.
Okay.
Yeah. First off, what? Secondly, Jesus said to give to Caesar what's his, and also to listen to, and Paul said, listen to the fucking government. They're put there for a reason, which, kind of seems like Paul wouldn't have written that if he'd have been around right now.
That's true.
But some churches are fighting back against this governmental overreach of keeping people alive. It's crazy. And
forbid.
And they say, and rightfully so, this actually comes from AFA.net, which I don't know, American Family Association. So, I love the organizations that have names like that.
Yeah.
Which sound just so like the James Dobson, right? That's his name, right? James? Yes. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have those dog whistle names.
Yeah.
That you can tell who they're trying to appeal to.
Oh yeah, you just know.
Yeah.
And this one, it says, Some churches are now fighting back, and rightfully so, period. Churches across America are under attack from the feds. That's actually peaceful, mostly protesters in Portland that are being picked up by the Gestapo, American style. Hopefully not being murdered by said Gestapo, murder, American style. As far as I understand, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, they're also being physically assaulted by said American Gestapo.
They are.
And sexually assaulted, if you are, if it is to be believed of what a young female protester has said.
Well, they're also being murdered because there was the gentleman that was, well, no, that wasn't the Gestapo. That was just some asshole with a gun.
Yeah, but also American Gestapo. Secret police.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing that's happening up the street from us. I think it's that way. I don't know. No, it's that way. Wherever you're at, Portland is over there. And so churches, though, churches are under attack in America. State and local governments have hijacked, is it okay that every single time that I see the word or hear the word hijacked, I automatically think of 9/11?
Oh, I thought you were going to think of Air Force One. Like the
Harrison Ford movie?
Yes, the Harrison Ford movie.
And he says, "Get off my plane."
Get off my plane.
And Steven Seagal dies in like 2 minutes.
Steven Seagal?
Honestly, best cameo ever. Anyway. For him, the racist term, the China virus pandemic, to prevent Christians from congregating for worship, God instituted government for the purpose of restraining and punishing evil, but he also commanded his people not to forsake the assembly of believers. And he goes on to talk about California, where Governor Gavin Newsom has put in place saying, hey, you're inside of a church, you're inside of a building, you're going to kill each other. Also, Herman Cade died today. That sucks.
He did.
Also, Louis Gohmert has coronavirus. That sucks.
Yeah. Don't take joy in
well
these things.
Soon.
Like, you cannot call yourself a humanist if you are taking joy in these things. I'm going to gatekeep the shit out of that.
Yeah, so get well soon, Louis Gohmert, which honestly, I never thought I'd say that to you. Don't die from coronavirus, Louis Gohmert.
Please no.
It actually hurts me to say nice things. Anyways, but talk about Gavin Newsom and saying, you can't get together in a church and sing.
Right.
This, by the way, is a safety measure. I know, Dean Meadows, you hate it. You think you're being persecuted and shit. I get it, right? You're not. Yeah, thank you, love. Because turns out when you talk, you spit and like all over my computer and whatnot.
Especially if you're Jonathan Groff.
Yes, I'm glad you said it too. Okay. And when you do that, as it turns out, when you like that, you expel more of that, and it goes crazy thing here about gravity further.
It does.
Also, gravity and motion. You're welcome, Newtonian physics right there. This is how this works, the body and motion type stuff.
Yeah. And
somebody, I don't know. Anyways, and it says in California, for example, no, it's not. That's not how that works. Anyways, the state has banned Christian worship from having more than 100 people or 25% of the church's building capacity, and also told churches, y'all better not sing. In Nevada, or Nevada, if you're not from Texas, which is the name of a town in Texas, Nevada, church worship is limited to 50 people, while casinos are generally allowed to operate at 50% capacity. This is true. The reason for this, again, is because you don't know how to sit apart from one another. It's like you take it as a challenge to get as many people sick as you possibly can.
You do.
It's like, oh, we're going to do it to 80 people today. Why? And also, there are actually things in place inside of casinos.
Yeah.
That allow for social distancing.
Well,
which I think is difficult at like the roulette table. But honestly, I don't go to enough casinos to know the answer to that.
I wouldn't know. But also, 50% capacity in a casino is only that much larger because their capacity is that much larger.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, especially if you're from Texas where there are no casinos, but think of casinos like Texas, large, and you think you have a lot of money.
They don't.
Also a lot of smoking. Texas has a lot of smokers.
They do.
Weird.
Yeah.
And also, it's the summer. You can go outside.
Yeah, it's
that
fun.
is. We will be talking about that in a story here, in an article that comes up about people meeting outside, which that's legal.
Yeah,
you can do that, and in fact, that's actually one of the good. I'm still going to get onto these people, but that's one of the great things about being able to freely assemble, as if it's a constitutional right of some sort. If only that were in a constitution amendment style or something. Oh,
sounds familiar.
It does. And he says, take the pledge to stand with other Christians to worship Jesus. So, and then it goes on and tells this pledge. It just says, while governments, now is the time to serve Christ first, not Caesar. Put on the whole armor of God. That's Romans 6:23, I think. And take a stand against government leaders who insist that Christians must abandon their corporate worship of God. First off, why are you worshiping God in a corporate style? And secondarily, and by the way, Matthew is correct. It is to keep paying taxes, something that, churches don't do. And which is really funny to me now that I think about that. Because churches don't pay taxes, even though Jesus was like, yo, motherfuckers better do this.
Yeah.
But
that's been bastardized a lot.
Nobody is saying you can't worship.
No.
And they never have said you can't worship.
No. You've
told me that I can't do my atheistness.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't care what you say. It says, well, governments are forcing Christians not to congregate and worship God together, which, again, you do not need to be. The church is not a building, right? How many times have I heard that in church? The church is not a building, right? It's an organization. It's a people together in spirit.
And it's like a when two or more are gathered in my name sort of thing. But that's what they're using to justify.
Yeah, but God is with me, even though God is also. Anyways, we must remember that we are to fear God, not man. Also, fear, whatever. Remember the words of the psalmist, "O come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our master." These are, hi, Tony. These are apparently things that you can't do unless you're right next to somebody inside of a building where there are no barriers between you and where there is no social distancing guideline. And where people are forced to sing, even if they cannot, most of you. And there's no other way you could possibly do that, apparently. Like, you can't go anywhere else. There is no ability to do something like what we're doing right now. Like, this only exists for the atheists.
It does.
For us too. In fact, probably just us. Yeah. We're the only ones that have access to this technology. We should sell it.
Yeah. I think that would make us a lot of money.
I think it would too. We should, stream it. We can even stream it like from our backyard. Apparently, one California pastor is publicly taking a stand for God. Ain't that an atheist? And he says, this is John F. MacArthur, who, by the way, I could have put like 7 articles about this guy and I chose not to.
Thank you for not.
Because the rest of the country is telling this dude, shut the fuck up.
Good.
And I'll let you know, there's a good side to this. Most pastors are against this.
That's good.
Right? Most. The overwhelming majority are like, we don't want to die. Which is odd because heaven will faster, whatever. Said he is the senior pastor of Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, and he says the state had overstepped its legitimate God-given authority, even though the Constitution is very specific that it's granted by the man, but whatever. As a result, his church defied Governor Gavin Newsom's anti-church mandate. It's not just anti-church, which it's not at all anti-church.
Everybody who has gatherings, they're affected by this.
Do you remember when one of the first shows we did in Oregon, when we listed off all the ways this is not unconstitutional?
Yes.
Yeah, I had like 14 different things that I listed off. It sounded like I was doing a deep dive before your deep dive into that day. It was,
I think our first one back was conversion therapy.
Yeah. Look at us remembering things.
Yeah.
And according to Daily Wire, the totally nonpartisan, legitimate news, news source that the Daily Wire is, Pastor MacArthur cited the Bible as the ultimate authority over his congregation, which, by the way, yeah, you're a church. Of course you're going to say that.
Yeah.
He wrote this: "We cannot and will not acquiesce." First off, most of your never mind. To a government-imposed moratorium on our weekly congregational worship or other regular corporate gatherings. Compliance would be disobedience to our Lord's clear commands. This is why you have an outbreak in California, bro. Seriously. Also because you're the most populated state in the country, you're going to have more. But still, you're not number one, I don't think. I don't think California's. I think Florida is number one.
I'm pretty sure.
Florida, Texas, and California. Now, sure, that makes sense. There's more people. Those are the three most populated states in the country.
Yeah.
But things like this are the reason that you have these outbreaks. We already know that because France. Yeah. We saw it with the one in France where it went all over the world from one person.
It's a butterfly effect.
Yeah. And we saw this in I was talking about it in Kansas. That was the reason that we saw the outbreaks in Kansas that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We see it in Idaho and all over the place when you have these little clusters.
Yeah.
It's almost every time it either goes to a church or it goes to a meatpacking type of plant.
Mm-hmm. Where there's tons of people in a small, crowded space.
Yeah.
It's running stuff like that right now isn't feasible. And it's so selfish to sit there and expect that you are going to have some kind of like entitlement to, defy these orders that are just for the good of humanity. It's so you don't get sick. So many people have died because of this. I was going to say people have died. So many people have died because of this. Stop doing this shit. Wear the mask, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, use disinfectant wipes. Stay the fuck home if you can. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not wrong about any of that. Yeah. It's also just selfish persecution complex that we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, and that is a thing that we always see in Christianity. It's usually see in Christianity. I can't say always because # not all.
It's very, very common in current evangelical Christian corners
very
of
much
society.
So.
There you go. How's that? I think that one works.
Thank you.
But as it turns out, we have a buddy in Utah.
Utah.
This guy's name is Mike Lee. Do you want to talk about Mike? I don't really want to talk about him.
Oh, Mike. Okay. So
I like how yours is a kitty cat.
So I have mentioned this numerous times on the show before. If you do not already have the browser extension Make America Kittens Again, that will replace pictures of pretty much anybody that you don't want to see with kittens and cute things. You should get it. Yeah. Make America Kittens Again.
Because in the actual photo, Donald Trump is massaging.
Oh, that's creepy.
He's a senator from Utah, so he's Mitt Romney's other. So you have Mitt Romney, who has done good things recently.
He's been more reasonable than I expected.
Yeah, but what's the bar? Anyways,
low bar.
And then you have Mike Lee. Yeah, Mike Lee, who is the president's bar, not the president's bar, as in attorney general, but the actual level where the president is. Mike Lee is there, and he said some things recently. This was 2 days ago. What's up?
Yeah, this is from the Salt Lake Tribune, article by Lee Davidson. So Senator Mike Lee, he was leading this call for Donald Trump to push state and local governments to allow churches to reopen or face restrictions on any forthcoming COVID-19 relief funding. Lee said in a letter to Trump that was also signed by 9 other GOP senators, such executive action would send the nation and government leaders a clear and unequivocal message that religious... Isn't it unequivocal? I don't remember.
Unequivocal.
Anyway, okay. Message that religious liberty matters and that no state or locality could unilaterally strip away protected constitutional rights. They're harping on this constitutional rights thing. Just fucking harping on it. And that's driving me nuts. Just so nuts. So, like we were previously talking about, California, some churches in California actually recently sued the state for banning from singing or chanting.
Because you can't sing. You can go to church.
That's what happens when you sing.
You can stand outside, 6 feet away from one another, sing until you literally cannot sing anymore.
Raise your hand.
Or until it's like
heavens.
9 o'clock and you're just disrupting my fucking sleep.
That's true.
Because there are ordinances.
Snakes.
Yeah,
do the snakes thing, but do it 6 feet away from each other. That's fine.
Yeah, don't do it near me. Shit. I don't want to die.
Yeah, not dying is ideal.
I should, one second. Sam, I should say this. I didn't actually have to shave my beard. I have to wear a black face mask, and there's not one that exists in the universe, apparently, that could contain my beard. And I couldn't wear the one with Starry Night on it.
Yeah.
So...
And that was the only one that contained the beard.
I'm looking at myself over here on the other computer screen.
I know, you're so handsome.
And my beard is like down to here,
It's
I think.
very epic.
It's like right here, right? And now it's not at all anymore. So
it's okay.
Stupid coronavirus. I blame this on Donald Trump. My beard is no longer here because of the current administration, Donald Trump.
Makes sense.
Go ahead. Sorry, I had to.
So, this is also coming in light of the U.S. Supreme Court decision that turned away a request from a California church to block enforcement of state restrictions on religious services. That's one where the court ruled 5-4 that the state imposed similar restrictions for comparable secular gatherings such as concert and movies, but some justices, like who was it, like Alito, Kavanaugh, and Gorsuch?
That is correct. Those at a tree. Wait, 3. I just, for whatever reason, that one. Yep. German style.
Yeah. Some of the justices, Alito, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, said that churches were not being treated equally to a number of businesses. Further on in the letter, Lee argued there's no pandemic exception to constitutionally protected rights.
That's not true.
Stop.
Because you can still congregate.
Nobody is preventing you from believing what you want to believe. Why did those just go off? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. No, I didn't. I was scrolling down on my screen.
Uh-oh. $3 says it was Marcus.
It could be.
He's not on our home.
Huh?
Anyway, sorry. That was very random. Don't know why that happened.
Was that
That's not plugged in.
No, was that is that the point to where the lights like it just realized I'm home or something?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Ryla is longer, and
Rilla.
Warren said, or Rilla, sorry. And Warren said ghosts. You know? I know atheists that believe in ghosts.
It is the only logical explanation.
I swear to Christ. Blame Math Pig. Yeah, Math Pig and Ocean for this.
We can blame Math Pig.
My
it's
phone.
Fine.
Where is
Okay, Google. Turn my office lights to 100%.
You believe in ghosts? Like the Holy Spirit.
Turn my office lights to 100%.
That's so weird.
There you go. And it didn't turn back on. That's so creepy.
I don't even know where my phone is. I feel like I plugged it in somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, we are so off track. So very off track. You can tell it's the end of the day.
I really don't know where it is. It's the cat. It could be.
I bet it is the cat, actually. She's somewhere stepping on. She's in the bedroom saying to Google Home, turn my lights off.
Something. Said, no, this is we're in Portland, Oregon. For those of you that don't know, that's where we are. So obviously we're like Antifa terrorists. At least we're not the American Gestapo. That's the president's police.
Yep.
Who are here in Portland. Anyways, this is the one time of year where it doesn't rain. So no, it's been clear for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, at least.
And it got to 90 degrees today. I wrote Matt a text actually. And he said it's like a winter day. Like, look.
It's like, I mean.
I moved here for the opposite of this.
Exactly.
Anyways, Mike Lee is being a piece of garbage.
Yes, he is definitely being a piece of garbage.
This is, again, we spoke about this in March. This is the Kansas thing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Because we literally, and we had this thing from the Department of Justice from 2017.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I read in March. I think it was like one of our last live streams.
I don't know.
No.
I thought the Kansas thing was when we were outside.
We did one in May. Yeah. We did a couple of them in May.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he and the other senators that signed the letter urged Trump to, quote, support proposals in Congress to place restrictions on any forthcoming COVID-19 relief funding to states and localities that prevent church, houses of worship, and religious schools and institutions from reopening. Why does your religious school take precedent over a regular school?
Oh, God. I chose not to include those articles in it too.
School.
There are a lot of articles to where a lot of things they're trying to do to like push states to require that schools reopen so they can have their private Christian schools reopen. The reason they want that, by the way, is because otherwise they don't make money.
They don't. And they're not making money currently by, grifting people.
Yeah.
And
because
10% of their salaries.
Yeah. There are no people that are coming into the church. Yeah. This is the real reason.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is the real reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's nobody in the church. They can't say, let's pass around the collection plate now.
Yeah.
However they might say it. And we know this. Yeah. Wedge document for show.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate people actually know about that.
Yeah.
And also that they know about Project Blitz. And the Wedge document's been around since the 70s. Too.
Yeah.
That's the old Quiverful playbook.
Oh,
and they try to do it online too. The president's chick that was cheating with Robbie Zacharias, I forget her name. She's down in Houston, I think. She's she was like telling people to give her money during COVID, during the pandemic, right? And what's his face that's up in DFW? I forget his name. The old guy.
Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah.
And I think Paula White is the one.
Paula White, yeah. And Kenneth Copeland.
Who I did a deep dive on.
Kenneth Copeland very specifically said, you need to take your money and go up to the church, no matter, come up here, no matter if it's open or not, and put your money in between the doors. This is why they want to be open, because they know if nobody is there, they can't get money.
Right.
That's why they want their schools reopened, because they know if there's nobody there, they can't get their money.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that tells you that it's about anything other than fucking money has not sat down and really considered this, because they can do it online.
Yep.
Many people do it online.
You can also take
I've never paid for it, but many people have done it online.
Yeah, you can take tithes online too. Seriously.
It's a sex joke.
Oh, you never had to do that online.
I've never paid for it. Huh. I mean, many people do it online though. Yeah. Many. There's a lot. Never paid for it.
Hey, how's it going?
We've never done it online.
No.
And no, we won't either. You sick bastards. That's not really that sick.
That's not what I was thinking of, to do it online.
It's
not the way that I was sexting.
Oh, I was thinking of just without the T.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
No, nobody wants to see this.
Letting people inside, and their sign says Jesus is our mask. As it turns out, that doesn't work. That's too good. And
it doesn't work.
Show me that. Yeah, it is. It's about the money. It really is. And the way that we know this, by the way, is because if you talk to any secular person,
mm-hmm.
they know you can see it, because if we look on the outside and stuff, and we can actually see it. But basically, that's what Mike Lee wants to say.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can't get a Jesus mask. Just walk around without one.
Yeah. Then you'll just.
By the way, at work today, no, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Only one person came in into the store without a mask on. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
And
did they kick them out?
No, they can't.
I thought they could because they're a business and there's a statewide mask mandate.
It says that you can't. You can like politely ask them to leave, but you can't do anything about it.
They're a private business.
I don't know.
You get so up in arms about somebody not like choosing to exercise their First Amendment rights by not baking a cake for a gay couple and denying service to a gay couple for, you know, their wedding and shit. But when it comes to being denied service for not wearing a mask, all of a sudden you're a special fucking snowflake.
Yep. Makes sense because you're all white too. So that's
true.
The joke behind that one is that you're white. Same problem Nathaniel has. Issue message. Yeah. Also, my beard, his beard wouldn't have fit in the mask either.
It's true. All right. Moving on.
Anyway.
Moving on to Black Lives Matter.
Yes. So if you don't know, we're like pro BLM.
We are.
Because as it turns out, it's good for people to stay alive.
Yeah, we
Black
like
people
that.
in particular.
We're humanists.
Yes.
So
this comes from a website, ChristianNewsWire.com.
I seriously thought this was satire.
It's not.
The first time I read this, I was looking through it and I'm just like, this can't be real.
This is real. This is real.
It's real.
It's not a secure website. That's my favorite part.
It is not a secure website. You can see right there.
My favorite part of this is not a secure website. Christian Newswire says, we are the most effective way to get your press release info in the hands of reporters and news producers. Check out our client list. To which I said, is this a black book? Anyways, this is news provided by 4 Winds, WANDS, USA. I've never heard of them.
Sounds like art.
Goes all 4 directions. I didn't Google them. I don't know who they are. I'm certain they are reputable. Anyways, this is what it says. Madison, Wisconsin on the 27th. We have an epidemic in sports called Black Lives Matter. Okay, this first... okay, 1, it's not in sports.
No.
2, wrong use of the word epidemic.
Right.
If you're going to use the word epidemic, first off, socially relevant coronavirus pandemic. What you should use as an epidemic is police brutalizing and murdering unarmed black people, very specifically unarmed black men. That's a pandemic. It's almost like a systemic pandemic of ick. I don't know. Couldn't think of another word.
Racic.
No, I wanted to use an actual word.
Oh, I tried. Anyway.
Ick. Anyway, a very small percentage of police men. For the record, I've seen police women doing this as well.
Yes.
Have created situations that need addressed. However, the extreme reaction through BLM is dangerous. Walking through the streets is dangerous. Wanting to say, hi there, black people should stay alive is dangerous. I would think that, black people being murdered is more dangerous. But, BLM is dangerous.
And you would think, people doing things that are against the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not murder.
Yeah, don't fucking kill people.
Yeah, you would think that would be something that they would agree that, is a bad thing. Murder.
Yeah, but I mean, then where does the persecution? Anyways, it says, this is where it goes on. Professional sports teams promote BLM by allowing kneeling before and during the national anthem, putting slogans on gear, and painting BLM logo at sporting facilities. So
we begrudgingly went to Walmart yesterday.
Yeah.
We were on this hunt for a specific Funko Pop.
We did not find it.
Did not find it. So while we were there, we figured, let's look and see if they've got some masks. Something that's going to fit his face better. Maybe there's something there. So we did not find any, obviously, because Walmart sucks. Don't go to Walmart. They're awful.
Just ever.
Don't go.
If you work there.
So to find out that they had no black masks, we asked an employee. Should I give his name?
No.
Okay.
No.
So this employee, we'll call him
Dominic.
Yeah, we'll call him Dominic. Sure.
That's his name.
Close enough. No, it wasn't his name.
Okay.
His name actually rhymes with the family who runs Walmart.
Oh, very good then.
Yeah. So when I don't know how we got on the subject. I have no idea how. I think it was because of the pandemic.
No, it needs to be a black one. And
he needs to be black.
Because we have the one with Black Lives Matter on it.
Yeah. So Dominic said, I'm not entirely sure why they're making such a big deal. Because if you're saying that all lives matter, you're saying that Black lives matter. To which I said, yeah, but all lives can't matter until Black lives do. And he just sort of goes, yeah. And then he just like walked off with his greasy hair and face mask and face shield.
He had a face shield. That was cool.
Yeah. So if you
weird.
don't want people at Walmart to tell you about how BLM has apparently blown things out of proportion, just don't go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But by the way, I haven't and Susan can tell you this, it's been for me like a decade since I've stood for the national anthem, because it's racist piece of shit national anthem.
Thank you.
Or it's pledged allegiance to a flag.
Yeah.
Because first off, what?
Why?
Secondly, no. Anyways, this did not start in a vacuum. You are correct. It didn't. Because never mind. I had a vacuum joke and
it was awful.
Yeah. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick, for some reason, and a few others started kneeling during the national anthem. I added the for some reason there because it makes it seem as though they don't know why.
Right.
While honoring the successful 2016 Olympic team at the White House, President Obama and Vice President Biden, who doesn't have a first name apparently, honored Olympic sprinters John Carlos and Tommy Smith. Both were removed from the 1968 Olympics after raising black gloved fists on the medal podium as the national anthem played. In protest, I found my phone, which is at 7%.
You should have plugged it in.
Yeah. Oh, look, we're live at 7. Oh, I got
ages ago.
Yeah. By the way, they were protesting the 1968 Olympics they were at the Olympics protesting for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
One, stop sending black people to Vietnam because that's disproportionately who was affected more than anybody else.
Yep.
And secondly, hi there, we'd like basic civil rights. So that's what they're protesting. And so you know what? Kind of heroes to me.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest with you. Is that Black Lives Matter was formed by radical Marxists.
That's always the term that they use.
Is every
Marxist
a radical? Because they are Marxists, by the way. The two people that they are Marxists. But is every Marxist a radical one?
I don't. Then that would mean that there are no radical Marxists.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that means they're all like regular Marxists.
But also, they're using the term Marxist because they know that none of their readers understand what it means.
They are against nuclear families, not against them, and support the transgender movement, which, by the way, I agree.
What is wrong with supporting transgender people?
This is, again, they're against, they're toppling, this is actually from the BLM Global Network website. They're toppling the patriarchal ideal of the nuclear family, which I agree with because that means that it's more inclusive.
Yep.
That means you can do anything and be anybody in the family.
Yeah.
Exactly. Matthew Fett is correct. Steve McConkey. I don't know if that's a real person. 4 Wins USA president stands up worldwide for Christian athletes. He goes, wow. In 2003, he was the only person publicly standing at the International Olympic Committee's pro-transgender policies, standing against them. In 2016, he publicly denounced Obama and Biden for honoring the protesters at the White House. During the presentation, Obama raised his clenched fist in support of the protesters. Good. I guess. That's funny, Aunt Jer.
Yeah. I responded.
This is what he said. For some time, sports are being used to promote extreme liberal ideologies that harm society. Black Lives Matter is a violent organization that people should avoid. They want to remake society, not create viable solutions. Most of the protesters not have a clue what they are doing. Only God can change hearts. Sports will be affected as fans quit watching professional events. Add the current virus, capital V, problems to the mix, and professional teams will face severe hardships. I don't know how those things are put together like that.
They shouldn't be.
But let me just go. We actually went over this. I would in preparation for the stuff we're putting together. Right, went into the NFL. We both went into the NFL because we're obviously very qualified and athletically gifted enough to do that, and was looking at the coaching vacancies across the NFL over the course of the past year. There were some 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And 2 or 3 of them were Black people.
Ooh, I think it was 2.
Yeah, it's not a very high number. Over 75% of the players in the NFL are Black. And yet the representation of the NFL is overwhelmingly white. Do you want to find people who are affected by the things that by Black Lives Matter, the people who would actually stand up Black Lives Matter? This is an organization, the NFL, the NBA is even a higher number.
Yeah.
Right. And yet you look at the NBA, what do you see? Black players, white coaches.
Yeah, it's because they don't feel that Black people should be in leadership.
Yep. And the NFL has actually said very recently, like, this is something we should probably focus on.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should, consider putting, like the Blacks in positions of leadership. Thanks, Jerry Jones.
Reminder, the NFL is a nonprofit.
Yeah. So
just saying.
Yeah. So that's a Christian organization that's completely against Black Lives Matter because, honestly, there's not a reason here.
Yeah.
Apparently because Marxism is bad, which, debatable. Like extreme anything is bad, but I don't know why. This article didn't make any sense to me.
No, it didn't make sense to me either.
It's from the Christian Newswire. By the way, we're going to do our best to put links in the description and everything.
Reputable.
But feel free to go read it or don't. Yeah. Feel free to look up this Christian Newswire or don't.
Don't put yourself through it.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's not worth it.
I don't know the NFL is a nonprofit.
It is.
Is it?
It's a nonprofit. The NFL is a nonprofit. Is the NFL a nonprofit? The NFL has historically filed as a 501c6 nonprofit.
Back until 2015.
Oh, but okay. Then okay.
For 73 years.
It was for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. For 70.
Still counts.
Yeah, they were a 501c or 50c. Yeah.
501c6.
So they were for a very long time a nonprofit organization.
Tax exemptions for business leagues, chambers of commerce, real estate boards, boards of trade, and professional football leagues.
Yep. Interesting, yeah. It's amazing that the organizations that depend on taxpayer dollars, like the NFL, which it does to build stadiums for billionaires, for 73 years, back until 2015, was nonprofit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're like the NCAA, profits off of people that you, for whatever reason, won't pay. Anyways,
yeah.
We already talked about Nevada. And so we're going to, Lauren Green real fast. Lauren Green wrote an opinion piece.
I do specifically want to talk about this one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we talk a lot about this stuff, even though. So the question that she's asking, Lauren Green, this is an article from Fox News. The questions that she's asking was the first sentence in this article. Is belief in God necessary in order to have good values? And I want to point out something that I noticed while I was reading this. So she quotes Dr. Miroslav Volf of Yale Divinity School, says, I think it is possible to be moral and not believe in God. I say that as a Christian theologian, I know a lot of people who do. But the problem is that the caveat that Dr. Wolf has. I don't think that it's possible to justify, to legitimize being moral, so to speak, to give reasons for being moral unless you believe in God. I think the faith in God is a condition. So I want to point out, there's 3 different ways in this article. Okay. So later on, talking about some study from the Pew Research Center called the Global God Divide, that released their study this last Monday, their results this last Monday. They asked 38,000 people in 34 countries if they thought believing in God was necessary to being moral and to being a good person. That is 3 different ways that they are trying to conflate religion with just being a better person than everyone else. 3 different ways. Because they're talking about good values, which to me, I think good values are pretty objective in most senses.
Yeah. Yeah, for most of Western society.
Yeah. Being a good person, that's the same thing. It's the same conditions, but also they're closely linked, but they're not exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? And then she talks about morals. Morals are so it's such a loaded term and so heavily associated with religion that they talk about there's no such thing as objective morality unless you have God, and that is literally something that is said in this article. There's no such thing as objective morality without a God. Yes. Blink.
I was sad that I linked this article before I read that. I was like, I should go back and delete that.
No, I'm glad you didn't. I'm very glad you didn't. So Laura Green is basically just bitching about the fact that people in different parts of the country think different parts of the world, rather, different countries, think different things about whether or not you need to believe in God to have good values, to be a good person, or to have morals. 3 different things that you're trying to conflate. Don't do that, Laura Green. Man.
Who is a Christian, by the way?
I mean, obviously.
This is an opinion piece.
Yes, obviously she is a Christian because, again, she's conflating good values, morals, and being a good person as all the same thing. They're not. So, Jacob Puster, we'll say Puster, who is the Associate Director of Research at the Pew Research Center, told Green that age, income, and education are all driving forces behind if you think believing in God is necessary to have morals, to be a good person, to have values.
Yeah.
Whatever. Pusher said those who are lower income, those who have less education, those who are older, tend to be more likely to say that, belief in God is necessary in order to be moral. They're more likely to say that God is important.
Yeah. Currently older anyways. I think that as our generation ages, that will change.
Yes. Yeah. And then you have like random people like my mother and my aunts and, what my dad was and stuff, who are just all like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to see a demographic shift here in the course of the next
10 years, 15 years.
Yeah, probably closer to 15 or 20 years.
Once my generation, like the millennials, especially the older millennials, are out of that, whatever to $35.
Yeah.
And we're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We're only a few years away, a couple of few years away. So, it's this whole thing is just, it's this like philosophical nightmare. Because again, she's conflating these 3 things that are not necessarily the same. She is saying, she is taking stuff from different people and sort of cherry picking stuff in order to support her thesis that you do need God in order to be a good person.
Yeah. Now
that drove me bonkers.
Yeah, and what's kind of interesting from that is 45%. And as we said, do not see comments if I don't DM you. No, we see them. We can see your comments. Just really, some of them we respond to, some of them we don't. We read all of them though. So whether they're live comments or comments after the video, like and subscribe and all that. And but 45% across the globe said belief in God was necessary. So the majority says no. And the answers varied widely. Western Europe, which is really, I would consider probably the most secular area in, well, let's go with this one. The Western industrialized world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Doesn't include China.
I'd agree.
Yeah. 22%. They are the people with the fewest amount of people which would say I am religious at all.
Yeah.
In Western world, Europe, 22% of people in Europe say no. But you go to Philippines and Indonesia. Now, Indonesia, as I have gone over multiple times, the country with the most Muslims in the world is Indonesia.
Mm-hmm. That's like 98%.
Yeah,
right?
It is. 96% of the people that live in the Philippines, which is overwhelmingly Christian, and Indonesia, which is 98% Muslim, say yes.
Yep.
So you find the more Christianized or Islamicized, I don't know. You find basically if you're one of the big three religions, you find that those countries will say yes.
Right.
Absolutely. The United States being one of them. Canada is a lower number than we do.
Yeah.
Quite obviously, because
Canada's just better.
Moose can't be religious.
Mises.
Yeah.
My sister got bit by a moose once.
You told me that. And neither can the northern version of mooses.
Mises.
They're Santa Clausy relatives.
Oh yeah.
And
elk.
Yes, and the elk.
And the elk.
America, this says, is a bit of an anomaly in that religion remains very strong here and belief in God is high, but the number of people, this is really great, who believe God is necessary for morality has dropped significantly. 14 points from 58% in 2002.
Yeah.
Which means that it is less than 50% of the people that live in the United States say that God is necessary for morality.
Yeah.
And this is very specific. I just saw us glitch a little bit.
Huh.
This is very specific with because if you're in the United States, they do have maple syrup. If you are we have maple trees. We know that because it's on the cars.
Sap.
Because in the United States, if you say God,
they know what you mean.
Yep. It is a very small percentage of people in the United States that will think anything other than the Christian God.
Yeah.
And of course, Sweden, this is where we almost like moved to Europe. Sweden, which is arguably the most secular country with one of the highest per capita incomes, which is why it's such a great country. Like it is, not just because they're all, least religious and high income, but other reasons as well. Apparently, healthcare. Anyways, had the lowest percentage, 9.
That's amazing.
9% of Swedes said, yeah, morality is important, or belief in God is important for morality.
That is amazing to me.
Yeah. So somehow the Swedes and the Finns, not the Miami Dolphins, but the Finns, and the Danes, and the people. I was
going to say the Denmarks.
The Icelandic folks, right? You got a lot of the Nordic folks. People live in Iceland. Are they Icelanders?
Islanders?
I don't know.
It's a joke.
Someone come up and be like, you know what? You leave New York alone. It's the hockey team. You find those places, by the way, they are the least religious, but they're also the happiest.
They
have the
are.
longest lives.
They do.
They have like the best healthcare, but they have access to that healthcare.
They do.
Everything about those countries.
Icelandics. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you. Like everything it seems about those countries is just, better than us.
Yeah.
And yet we are far more religious.
Yeah.
So weird.
And I just wanted to point out one thing about the 14 points down from 58% in 2002. Remember what the country was going through in 2002?
I do.
Yeah, like it's this directly after 9/11. It's when everybody was in like the throes of, the most superficially patriotic time in this country.
Yep.
When everybody was like, we're going to band together and nothing like this is ever going to happen again. And, we're going to make sure that these guys pay for it. And and it's just all like, they didn't pay for it. The war was bullshit. It was a Hollywood war.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yep. So, this person says yes. And the person at the Yale Divinity School, who's also a Christian, says yes.
Of course.
The majority of the world says no.
Nah.
So there you go. That's the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to go through some of these really fast here. There was a California beach revival.
Oh, God. I hated this so much.
They were outside. Good for them.
Yeah, that's good that they were outside. It's good. How many people were there, Nathaniel?
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
They were in California, all of them at one. It was like at lifeguard post 14 or some crazy shit.
Like a little tea head or something.
And I saw 0 masks, and with any of them, 0% of them were 0%. 1% of them that were just on the beach instead of like on the beach. Does that make sense? Like closer to the water. Closer to the water.
Yeah.
Yes. You know where that is.
Yeah.
And they were very close to one another, which again, not a bad thing if you live with this person. You don't live with 1,000 people. Anyways, I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. That'd be weird. And the thing is, the church has left the building, which is
like Elvis.
Yeah, except for he's dead. And and apparently, from what I understand, God is not dead from a couple of movies. One of which was actually
not dead. He was never alive.
One of which was actually apparently like not that bad of a film. The last one is apparently not that bad, comparatively.
I mean,
the first
again,
two were really bad.
The bar is on the floor, man.
Bar
is on the floor.
And they said that that this is the possibility here. Said the lead pastor fella who had a Los Angeles Lakers jersey on, a LeBron James one. Love you, LeBron. Go back to Cleveland. Anyways, he was saying, this is like in the 60s, man, when all of like our parents and grandparents, I don't know how old he is, like went outside and the hippies all got like churched up and baptized. And this is going to happen again. They even talked about it on the news, almost like they're doing right now on, Fox News. And totally cool, man. And to which we said you could always go out. Why? You should go outside all the time, which is really great. Good for them.
So I want to point out.
Spread all. And also, they also baptized a bunch of people, too.
They did. They baptized a bunch of people.
Why?
Oh, the ocean is gross anyway.
First off, I get the baptizing thing. But yeah. It's like just like you want people to like go the route of Herman Cain.
Fish poop in the ocean. Just stay out of the ocean. Seriously. Lakes too, man.
What's his name?
His name is Sean
Fucked.
I'm going to say Fecht.
Fucked.
Okay.
It's his last name. It's not my fault.
F-E-U-C-H-T. I'm going to say Fecht.
Fucked.
Anyway, so I'm going to point out the people that he's talking about with like parents and grandparents and stuff, that was a thing. I don't know if you remember. So I did a deep dive on Christian music.
I remember.
And the Jesus People movement from the late 60s and early 70s was a thing.
Yes.
You had a lot of artists that were converting as a result of, of shit that was going down. And you had some of the mainstream artists that were releasing Christian albums, like Bob Dylan. He released a Christian album. Nobody gives a shit about it. You know why? Because nobody gives a shit about Christian music. So
did he really?
Point that out. He did. He really did.
Bob Dylan.
He released a Christian album.
Good for you, Bob Dylan.
Or like a gospel album or something. Whatever. It's still fucking Christian.
That's a fact. So cool. You're outside. Love you for that. Thank you for going outside. But really appreciate that. Wear a mask. Sit 6 feet apart from one another, unless it's like your immediate family that you live with. Other than that, I don't fucking care if you're outside.
Or somebody you have sex with.
Preferably. So I don't believe you. So there in Virginia, there was a church pastor who was the target of a stabbing attack.
Oh my God.
A guy ran into. By the way, and at this point, this is on Fox News. None of the names of these people have been released yet, as far as like the assailant.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's not Muslim or black.
Yup. Because you know that they would be all over that shit like white on rice in a paper cup in a snowstorm.
Yep. Because, as we mentioned earlier, white American evangelicals are fucking racist.
They are.
Not all. Hashtag.
There is data to support that statement.
Yeah. And also because we know that. Remember when the Pulse shooting, right? Which was just over 4 years ago. The first fucking thing. They're trying to figure out if he was black or if he was a Muslim.
Yep.
That was the first thing. I remember that.
Yeah. Same thing with Boston bombers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or even with when the guy was killed in Louisville, the black guy who was murdered in Louisville by the police.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, they said it's the BLM.
Yeah.
Like if the BLM was a thing. Anyways. So the two, my voice is going. It's going the way. Anyways, found it. He was trying to go. I caught it. He was stopped by 2 parishioners who were also stabbed in the meat, which makes sense. You're going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
But they saved the life of the pastor. Good for them, and good for the pastor.
Yeah.
And also, if this was a gun, it would have been much worse.
It would have been a lot worse.
Don't try and fucking tell me it wasn't.
Everybody would have been
Apparently,
dead.
like a sheriff's deputy was also there and was also injured.
Was an off-duty thing.
And here's the thing. I get it. I don't like a lot of pastors either. Don't do this.
Yeah.
Now.
Don't kill people.
Usually the people that do these things know the people. So don't stab people.
Just in general.
Yeah, especially in a church. You're giving us a bad name.
Don't stab.
They're automatically going to think it's the BLM.
Or the Aphetids.
Oh, definitely. No morals without God.
Exactly.
Anyways, so good news out of Sudan. They are repealing a bunch of laws that are that have been there for like 40 years, or 30 or 40 years. That included things like basically you can't be an open Christian. Which is, and then the women can drive and all these things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That's really cool.
Is it Hagia Sophia? You know that one?
I know the name.
It's not. Is that how you say it? I probably messed that up.
Is it like Hagia Sophia?
Hagia Sophia, yeah.
Hagia.
That.
Somebody correct us.
Yeah, well, if you would like to put it into the comments,
yeah, please phonetic.
Yes, I need the phonetic stuff.
Don't phonics work.
So while we mention this good stuff, which is like pulling it back completely, basically it's removing like some of that Sharia, right? Which is great. This building is being turned back into a mosque, which is aggravating a fuck ton of people. And I don't know if it's in Sudan. I just was like, oh, something good is happening in the Middle East. And now here's the bad thing that's happening in the Middle East, called basically being in the Middle East right now almost.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And or the past 50 years. And so good job, Sudan, for doing the bare minimum of letting people survive and not be put in jail for having opinions. Also, maybe not every building needs to be a mosque. Moving on.
True.
This is actually my favorite story, and we're only gonna go over like
you're gonna do it. Let's just do one more.
2 more.
2 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do the Bible reading one.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we cover that one too? I didn't read it, but it looks really entertaining.
It's a new movie. Actually, that would work out because there is a Christian filmmaker. They have a fan-owned, faith-based movie studio, which is called Higher Studios.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I think that Cowboy and Preacher is one of the names of the films.
So that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's actually it is a Cowboy and Preacher is about two people. And
well, do you want to cover that right now, or
yeah,
after we talked about this?
We can do that one first. Yeah.
Okay. So because one leads into the other. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything flows and makes sense.
Yep. Go ahead.
Appreciate you. Oh, I do not want to subscribe to the Christian Post. Thank you. So these Christian filmmakers, I'm pretty sure it's not David A.R. White.
No, he's Pure Flix.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man. So they were launching this first ever fan-owned, faith-based movie studio, and it is named Called Higher Studios.
Writing and saying that would have been difficult for me.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's called.
Yep. The first time I looked at it.
I thought it was just called Higher Studios.
The first time I looked at it, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was really confused by it for a second there. So it launched in Franklin, Tennessee by movie executives Jason Brown and Ash Grayson. The studio actually wishes to revolutionize Christian movie making by becoming the first fan-owned, faith-based movie studio.
Good for them.
They wish to honor God and serve others while making their content. Grayson said, "Our goal is to give a voice to creators through a lens of faith. We are not just a studio or production company. We are a production community." That's sort of like jobs that say, we're like a family.
Yeah.
And we work hard and we play hard.
Yep. You're not like a family. You're not going to work to hang out with your family.
No, you're not.
You're
also not playing hard if you're working hard.
Yeah. Make money at work. That's the only reason you're there.
Yeah. So.
But they're making a film, right?
So real quick, in April they managed to raise $1 million from over 3,700 investors in order to actually fund the operations of the studio itself. It invited donors to become their fundraiser invited donors to become investors and actually buy stock in the company. So that would actually name them owners alongside the co-founders and other investors. This seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, it seems like a Ponzi scheme.
I mean...
But apparently they're making a movie. Their first movie is going to be called The Grace of Christ.
Well, I'm just excited about Cowboy and Preacher.
This is called the Grace of Christ, and it's going to be about the crucifixion of Jesus. That's never been done before. So...
Yeah.
And that's going to come out in 2021, I guess that's when they're doing the production of that. So congratulations to them. During the pandemic, the first time that we had whatever, instead of raising money to help people, they were raising money, millions of dollars apparently, for their studio.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of that is going to come of this that is going to be any good is the fact that because people are at home more, because they're, self-quarantining and social distancing and stuff, they are consuming a lot more streaming content. And yes. I'm under the assumption that it's going to be a streaming studio.
Oh, maybe.
That's my assumption.
I know the first Netflix-produced religious show or movie comes out this year.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, it's sort of like musical or something, too.
There's also a new Transformers series that is showing on Netflix right now that Rooster Teeth was involved with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
There's also a new Jurassic Park thing coming out.
There is.
I don't care. September. I don't care that it's aimed at kids. I really don't. There's fucking dinosaurs.
Just like a Transformers one. I don't care. There's robots.
Just kidding, Grace. But yeah, there is a movie that is being made.
Cowboy and Preacher.
Yes. And I forget the name of the organization that is making it.
I can't tell because there's a director.
It's by Vineyard.
No, that's the Founding Pastor.
Anyway,
so it's following. So it's the filmmaker behind Cowboy and Preacher is hoping to make a compelling. This is all from the Christian Post. Hoping to make a compelling case for evangelical Christians to step up and take the lead in caring for the earth. That's a noble cause.
Yeah.
That's a noble cause.
Especially because this guy, who is a conservative Christian, is from Idaho.
He's an environmentalist. I'm very
was
hungry
that you?
right now.
I thought that was Stanley.
I'm very hungry now.
He's from Idaho.
Yeah.
He's an evangelical. He's a conservative evangelical Christian, a preacher from Idaho who is saying, y'all, we got to do something about this earth.
Yeah. So the film follows Christian pastor, cowboy, and environmentalist Try Robinson as he journeys to, quote, discover why evangelicals have abdicated their duty to be God's stewards of this earth to the progressive left. Okay, Home Slice. Here's the thing.
Still a conservative.
Taking care of the earth is not a partisan issue. It's just not. Giving a shit about having a planet to live on and making sure it's taken care of, it's not a partisan issue. It's kind of like wearing a mask. It's not a partisan issue.
Well, I can already tell him. I don't need a movie for this. I can already tell him why they're not, why they don't care.
Because they're selfish.
And it's a political thing now, but they don't care because they say, oh, it's gonna get bad enough. Jesus is gonna come back.
Yeah, that's our excuse.
That's it.
Yeah.
And they also think it's a political thing too. Being environmentally conscious is political.
I don't get that.
Of course, so is wearing a mask to not kill other people. Political.
Super political.
Yay.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people?
So many things are wrong with them. So many things. All right. Well.
And so one more.
Anything else?
Yeah, one more, because I got to read that one more. By the way, Eric Metaxas, we were talking about him the other day.
Oh yeah.
He wrote something on Twitter about Jesus being white and asking if Jesus had white privilege.
Jesus wasn't white.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
Can't have white privilege if you're not white, Metaxas.
And
you just fucking can't.
The Christian word for that is he was rebuked.
Well, what was the other thing that Metaxas did that I sent you the photo of it? Like a photo of the tweet.
I forget what it was, but it was
you were
racist.
Like, what the fuck is this? And I was all like, look who it is. It's Eric Metaxas. And you're just like, what?
Wasn't it racist as shit?
It was racist as shit. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising because it's Eric Metaxas.
I've met him.
I think I met him too.
Yeah.
Did I meet him too?
I don't think you met Eric, no.
But he was at the thing.
He was. Yeah, he was on. You saw him on stage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know how he didn't know me. The last story tonight, I realize we've gone for like an hour and a half. I don't care.
Yeah.
You haven't seen us in a very long time. When's the last time we went live? Seriously.
That wasn't.
When was it?
Circle. That wasn't Secular Literary Circle.
Yeah, for this. When was the last time we were live? Seriously, I don't actually know. If you could look it up, put it in the comments, that'd be fabulous. Anyways.
Yeah, let us know.
I don't want to go back to the channel and look. I mean, kind of do. This is first off, there was a Texas pastor who stopped.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. Who stopped to help somebody on the side of the road, and he was apparently he was killed.
Oh. I didn't read.
Name was John Powell around Houston. He used to teach at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, and he stopped on the side of the road to help somebody who was stranded, and he was hit by a vehicle.
Oh my gosh.
And he died.
Oh my gosh.
And that's awful. From what I understand, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
And
Southern Baptist Theological Seminary is in Fort Worth, right? Or which one is that?
The one in it's Dallas. The Dallas Baptist is there, but also
the one that's in Fort Worth
is Baptist Theological Seminary. Is it Southern Baptist Theological Seminary?
Southwestern Baptist.
There it is. Yeah. And so it's
associated.
It was an accident, nothing
malicious.
Yeah. So that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks a lot.
Yes.
That is not.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
Do what you can to help people and also be safe while you're doing that.
Yes, please.
Something that doesn't suck. Turns out, don't celebrate Nathan Bedford Forrest's birthday if you are the pastor of a church.
Have you seen the statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest that is making the goofiest face ever?
No, I don't think I have. But I've seen.
Is it not that one?
Is it this one? Is that the one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But so this guy's 30 years old, not Nathan Bedford Forrest or Forrest Gump, who apparently he's named after. And his name is Will Dismukes, which is very close, in my opinion.
Oh, it's in Nashville.
In my opinion, very close to David Duke. It's not my fault that was the name I thought of whenever I thought of somebody that was a pastor who would support Nathan Bedford Forrest. I would not be surprised if David Duke was in some form or fashion some sort of evangelical Southern Baptist preacher who is also a part of the KKK, which we already know part of that is true. So Will Dismukes, who led
I love past tense.
Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. Not quite so pleasant anymore.
Nope.
And also serves in the state legislature.
Oof.
By the way,
big oof.
Remember that he resigned.
Yes.
From the church.
Which means
he has more time for the legislature.
Yes.
Good job there, Alabama. It is Alabama,
Great.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Great.
He gave the invocation at Forrest's 199th birthday celebration in Selma, of all fucking places. Selma, Alabama. Let's remember Selma real fast for a few different reasons. One, Selma. Number two, Selma. Also, John Lewis. This isn't important.
Yeah. I'm sad about him.
So, always bad. I don't know if Nathan Bedford Forrest is from Selma. I also don't care.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't care.
He was the first Grand Wizard of the Go Fuck Yourself.
Yeah.
And this guy this guy's name, Will Dismukes, took a photo. Let's see, hold on a second. And posted a photo of himself standing in front of a portrait of the first Grand Wizard and surrounded by.
So I want to. Oh, shoot. No, go away. I want to.
Can you put that on there? Oh, yeah, you can share the screen. Yeah. This is Nathan Bedford Forrest while we're doing that.
How do I do that?
I don't know. I don't think you can.
Share screen.
Two of us. Yeah. Yeah, don't show these tips again. Cool. Thanks. Share screen. And then choose that one. There you go. Share.
I wish I could make this bigger.
I think you can. You can just.
You can sort of see his mug right there.
That's Nathan Bedford Forrest, by the way. It's a very, very good representation of him. While you're looking at that.
Oh, here we go.
It was a Facebook post, and it was removed due to backlash because turns out it's not okay to be a fucking racist unless you're the president. And Dismukes met early this week with leaders from the, Baptist Association, his own congregation in Prattville, and said this. Mel Johnson, who's the lead mission strategist for the association, said the church was caught in the controversy. This is fabulous, by the way. This right here. The church is caught in the controversy, and following his resignation, quote, the Baptist churches can move forward and remain focused toward Great Commission efforts to communicate the gospel and reach our world for Christ. So the Baptist leaders said that the controversy was not good for his church.
That's like an understatement.
I took it a whole different way. Not that being a racist is a really bad thing, but it just looks bad for the church.
Well, just remember, they're gonna be racist anyway.
Yeah,
because
how
we
is
have data for that.
How is that? No, yeah. Reminder: evangelical Christians,
racist.
The white version, are racist. As if whenever I say evangelical Christian, does anybody actually think I'm talking about anybody that's not white? Is that right?
No,
we just,
probably not.
If there's somebody out there that says, you know what, I consider, I consider everybody, I'd like to know, right? Because I'm fairly certain that every time that I say that and every time that I've ever had the conversation about it, it's always been about white people.
Yeah.
look, it's not my fault that, sure, still white people. Anyways, but that was what it was. It was that not good for the church. I'm super sorry that yet again you're worried about butts in the seats and money more than saying racism bad.
Yeah, you would.
Maybe you shouldn't, like, Also, why do you celebrate his 199th birthday? You had one more year to go.
Yeah, that's not. It's only a year. It's not a really long time. I promise you can wait.
I promise he will still be a dead racist next year. He'll still be a dead traitor next year. And you'll still be racist next year.
Yeah.
But hopefully no longer in public office, because again, your seat is on the ballot this year.
Yeah.
And let's hope that Alabama will vote you out.
That'd be nice.
I don't know what I'm thinking. Again,
this is Alabama.
white evangelical racists are evangelical Christians. So
yeah.
That works no matter which way you do that.
Yeah.
America Without Christ movement would be really nice. At that point, just call us Europe or Canada.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So that's the
news for this week.
That's the news. Persecuted
random.
Christians, by the way, which are very persecuted across the world. More came in 2016 and to the United States. Came here as asylum seekers in 2016 than in 2017, 2018, and 2019 combined.
Wow.
That's just it. The last year of the deporter-in-chief, Barack Obama, his year in office, more persecuted Christians from around the world came for refuge in the United States than in the 3 years of Donald Trump's presidency combined. Wow. And also Bible reading, as this we'll finish up. Bible reading during the pandemic
is down.
Yeah. Down from 14% of people. I'm sorry, 9% of people said that they read the Bible every day in the pandemic versus 14% regularly. To which I said, no. I'm fairly certain that number is way too high.
Yeah.
I would go, there seems to be a commandment here somewhere. Stop lying.
Yeah.
There's a GIF, right?
Revelation 21:8. Liars go to hell.
There's a GIF asking them why they are always doing this lying thing. Because I know you don't. I do know that you don't read the Bible every single day.
Accurate.
You lying fucks.
Yep.
So that's news for this week.
Yep.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Who
eventually.
knows? Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, something.
One
like
of these days. This is Thor's day. So
It's Thor's day. You can see the Thor. Uh-oh. There we go.
Wow.
Okay, we're good.
America becomes fourth territory of Canada. Yeah, we just froze for a second, but Thor is right behind me. He's the gold one right back here. Also, Buddy Cthulhu there.
Yep.
Who nobody ever mentions, jerks.
Aww.
Also got Chewbacca's back there again too.
Fun Chewbacca's
right there, and then some other stuff too. Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's the gnome.
Well, that's the news this evening.
Yep.
Thank y'all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate being back here with y'all. You can like us on what?
That's funny.
Oh, the cover. You can like us on Facebook. We're on there as Divine Disbelief. You can follow us on Twitter at Divine Disbelief. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Motel Cowboy. You can follow the Corgis, Dos Corgis 15. We also have a Divine Disbelief Instagram, which I forgot to link in the description. But if you look in the description, you can find all these links down there. We do have a new logo that you saw as you were waiting. Really awesome by Creative Soul Illustrator on Twitter. They are also linked in the description as well.
I forgot their name.
Yes. Now, I double-checked beforehand.
Very good.
It is a gorgeous logo. I'm so very grateful that they did that for us.
Absolutely.
So that's it for us this evening.
That is, yeah.
Do you have anything else that you need to mention, need to shout out? I know.
What?
We have a new show on Saturday. At noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. It's called Explain Like I'm 5.
Who's the first?
I'm still discussing making sure that the guest is still the same. So don't wanna push their name out there if they're not.
I'm not gonna be here. I'll be at work.
Yeah. Oh.
As that goes.
Oh.
It's yours anyways. I'm excited to see how you do with it. I'll watch it on the work. Also, stay inside if you can. Wash your hands.
Please do. Hand sanitizer, masks, lots of them.
And then if you got all the way to the end of this is my beard comb.
Aww.
I no longer have a beard. Please leave a comment if you made it this far.
About the beard comb.
What should I do with this? Because at this point, I'm confused. I can't do this anymore.
He's scared and confused.
It doesn't work anymore.
It's okay.
Hit the end button. Like I don't know like what to do. Just help me.
Bye guys.
Help me with my beard comb.
Y'all have a good night.